in regards to vacating the street petition. Do we have any public comments regarding that? There being none.
I got a question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Someone is vacating part of Billington, Water Street, what is that? I live on Billington. I was one time, out of way south of me was called Water Street. And, my folks tried to get vacated years ago and too much money, so they didn't do it. Then the survey came down, Rivera came down, a couple months ago, surveyed it and said that that was already vacated. And all the paperwork was down at the county courthouse. Is that, am I misunderstanding something here? Or what are you trying to vacate now?
Did he not have the map?
That's accurate, Melvin. That's actually shows that it's vacated, but there's no, the county mapping has no paperwork to show how it got there. So this is just resolving that, clearing it up, and it's gonna be, it's the south 33 foot of Billing Street,
Okay.
and then the Water Street, which what you were
Now,
talking
you
about.
tell me it's already, paperwork's
Mhm.
already down.
It's already, mapping already has all of it recorded, and that's how they show it. They just don't have anything detailed to, they don't have anything that says that this is when it was vacated and this is how.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Anyone else? I'll now close the public hearing. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now call the regular city council meeting to order, and I entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Been moved, second? Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Public forum limited to agenda items only. Does anyone wish to address that at that time? I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I so moved.
And a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Number 6, library grant announcement. Janet.
Thank you. We were notified the end of June that this was going to be a quick grant. It's called the ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act Grant, and it's through the state of Library, Kansas. And so they were telling libraries that you had like about 3 weeks to get this proposal written and cost and everything done, and we made it. So our project that we've decided to apply for the grant is this gazebo. It's 14 by 16, and also with the grant, and that came to a cost of $13,000. And then we also, to go along with that, we bought picnic tables to one side, a ceiling fan. They kept saying, add anything you want in there to be a one-time purchase. So we also bought like 7 large outdoor games so that kids can play games along with the gazebo and have programs out there. We found out last week we were awarded the grant for a total of $16,095. And so I'm here to let you know that we've applied and been accepted for the grant, and this is what we plan on doing with it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Is that 100% or is there matching?
Nope,
No matching funds?
100%.
Where would you put it?
Kind of on the east side of the library lawn, next to the sidewalk. And you got the library, and that'll be there on the east side.
Very.
A company from Great Bend will come in and install it one day, and we're good to go.
Okay.
So, I just wanted to let you know what's going on.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken.
So Will that be theft proof
Probably not. What is?
if you put ceiling fans in it?
We'll have a ceiling fan and a light in there, cause, you know, we'd like to use it for, not sure what we'll use it for programming and,
Cameras.
We need to run the electricity underground too.
yes, I prefer that, yeah. I talked to Tim a little bit, cause we're gonna have to dig, level out some ground and dig a flat surface without the grass, and I've talked to Tim. Have the city guys do that closer to the time. Probably won't get it done until late September, early October,
Okay,
so
all
I've
right,
got some time to work on that, so. Just wanted to fill you in that we were accepted for the grant, and
that's great news.
yeah, it's good news, it's always good to hear, so,
Mhm.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Martha.
Yeah.
Number 7, approval of CDBG grant agreement 21-CR-003, Crystal. You're up.
Hi, I'm Crystal Hannon with Branson Financial. In your packet, you should have the grant agreement that we have discussed before about the Jones's property rehab. And today we are just here for you guys to approve the state agreement and for signatures.
Okay.
I have a question. This is not gonna cost the city anything, is that correct?
No, you guys are just the pass-through.
Just pass through.
Yeah.
I keep seeing grand.
Yeah. So cities and counties are the only ones that can apply for this, and you apply on behalf of the owners that will pay the actual money.
Well, I would make a motion to approve CDBG grant agreement 21-CR-003. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Questions?
I just have a question. I noticed that they have to put up a cash reward.
Yeah, and so
When
in their
is-
application, they did have to prove to the state that they would be able to do the cash on hand, plus they're also getting a line of credit.
And they will give that to you then?
So it stays with the bank,
Okay.
and so when it's time to make a payment, we'll bring the pay application to you guys, so you can approve it, but they will be the ones that pay the local side.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0.
Fantastic, thank you, and I will talk to you tomorrow about it.
Sounds great,
Thank you.
Number 8, industrial park lot proposal. Actually, Andrew?
Hi, I have these to pass out to you guys, is that okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like to propose to buy, in section 2, lot 1 of the Bott Industrial Park, for $3,000. We'd like to, build RV and boat storage, some buildings, and do 1 per year for 4 years with 10 stalls each. So with, Cleary Buildings, he, gave me that proposal and he said he could build as soon as November. So in 4 years, having $200,000 worth of improvements on that lot and pay taxes on that, so, and I do know that that particular lot, which I'm sure you guys know too, is, could be subject to special assessments, because the road is supposed to be there possibly someday, so I know that that would be subject to special taxes as well.
Is that right east of where you're at?
Where my dad's shop is, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there'll eventually be a road in between you and the, or,
Yeah, I believe that's what is planned for that, for the city adding that, but for our purposes, we don't need a road, I just am acknowledging that I know we pay more taxes on that when that road is added on.
Not me.
speaker?
this located?
Across from Spur Ridge, next to the Airstream Guy building. It's that first lot on the curve.
Okay.
So it's a little over an acre, but, probably about 20% is not usable just because it's so low into the ditch.
Airstream's here, this is what she's asking for. You know what's that there?
I know what it's
Big.
Can I ask a question? Is it just storage, is it repair, is it
Just storage,
just storage?
coverage storage, yeah.
So no repair or detailing or anything like that?
No, not on this
Okay.
particular.
Thank you.
So is this for rental or for, just for you guys?
For rental.
For rentals, yeah, I think that's a great idea.
What do you get a month for those?
For covered, $80 per month, and then for just uncovered would be 30. So we're planning on putting gravel down and then, adding these buildings.
Will it be secured? I mean, indoor?
They will not be completely enclosed, they will just have a, roof enclosure, and then the gravel underneath.
How many stalls do you have?
The first year, we're planning on doing, one building that has 10 stalls, and then each year adding one more, that have 10. So we could, if demand allows, we can expand more, but if it just depends on the market. But I think just based on, the wait list when I called on other storage places, and, what I've seen posted in the Facebook group of people asking for storage, that it seems like there's a need there.
Margaret, will this meet your criteria for zoning? Or is that something you need to check in?
Need to check, I don't wanna misspeak, but I'm checking to it.
Okay. Where do we go from here?
We have not seen the proposal as a staff, so I can't answer anything
Okay.
for you.
I think first of all, we need to find out that it'll meet the zoning without any issues there.
Okay.
And, what was the price you were asking? to purchase?
3,000.
3,000?
And that lot is priced at 12, is that correct?
That is the asking price on it. The appraised was 59 something.
Let's look into it and then we'll get back with you.
Okay, how will we, how do you get a hold of me, or do I just call, or?
Let me see what I can do. If you've got an extra copy for me.
Yeah, sure.
And one for Mr. Holter.
Okay.
And we'll see what we can do. Is your phone number on there?
No, but I can add it on there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Put a motion on the floor that we ask the planning and zoning board to review this, and see if it meets the criteria.
I don't know.
Normally administrative tasks like that are handled by the zoning administrator.
We
Only
will
when there's
do
an
it.
exception does it go to the full planning and zoning for decision.
I don't think we make any decisions until we hear back from Margo.
Yeah. And then actually, at the next meeting,
Okay.
on the 23rd, Margot will come with a recommendation.
Okay.
And then at that time, it takes an act of this board to sell the property.
Okay, so come back to the next meeting then?
Correct.
Okay, can do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 9, ordinance 1478 vacating a portion of Billings and Water Street. Tiffany?
In your packet is the ordinance 1478. This is just the final step to vacate that. As I was mentioning earlier to Melvin, it's the south 33 feet of Billings Street, and then the Water Street, which is located in Billings Addition.
Okay. Any questions of council? I would move to approve ordinance number 1478 vacating a portion of Billings and Water Streets. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Number 10, traffic signage discussion. Chief Jeffries.
And Margot. Last council meeting, I believe, Allison Pikeman had come in and talked about some crosswalk signage that Council Grove has, and we together done some research on that, contacted the state and got their opinions, contacted Council Grove Police Department and heard their opinions on, not opinions, their experience with having the sign, that type of signage. So we're just here to report back to you about that. You wanna start off with what the state said?
Yeah, the state was, warning us against possibly creating something that we didn't need to create. Let's see, be careful when installing signs, especially when a problem does not exist. Signs are not a cure-all to begin with, and they may have to have the unintended consequence of increasing accidents because they could limit visibility to be a distraction. And he reiterated that again. Installing signage always isn't, it always has consequences, and when there isn't a problem to begin with, your solution may create a problem.
And on the flip side of that, Council Grove Police Chief said they've had great success, he believes, with the signage, along with when they rolled it out, they did a social media and newspaper, local media campaign, making everyone aware of it. They have had some signs get run over. He said it's not more than you would expect for a sign that sits in the middle of the street. And they are on now their second cycle of those signs. They said the first ones lasted up to 3 years. He said they're not completely destroyed. They could be used, but they just chose to replace them due to the wear and tear.
They use one that's a little different than what we put in your packet. The one we put in your packet has a yield at the top of it. They use one that has stop instead, and they think that that's better. That's Council Grove's opinion.
And they don't put it directly at the crosswalk, they put it prior to the crosswalk, and they said the small stop sign, he believes, gather people's attention, and then they look and see it says state law, and then a picture of pedestrian crosswalk, and they're required to stop for pedestrians.
So do you need 2 per intersection?
If you wanna do it at the crosswalk, yes, at each crosswalk, yes. Another thought would be to do it like at the beginning of Main Street or downtown, and then at the end. I mean, this location would be up for grabs, it's ultimately gonna depend on how much money you wanna spend. They're about,
They're
$345
$345.45 a piece.
What's your location?
We talked, she asked about Freeborn in Maine, which we actually already have a safe route to school sign there.
on the side of the
On the
road.
side, and then, she had asked about Main and Fifth and Main and Third.
But if you want both those intersections, you're gonna need a sign at each side of it, so now you're looking at $700 an intersection.
It's on Freeborn there, but is that by Casey's?
Casey's.
I've got a concern about, there's a lot of people pulling there to get fuel, it's pulling trailers.
Yeah, it's a tight corner regard, yeah, trucks have a hard time turning right there. I mean, that would be a situation where we'd have to put it a considerable distance.
So they
back
can
from
make
it.
the
Or
turn.
you could put it in the middle of the block, the middle of Casey's, as a warning that.
Yeah, location, and they don't make the permanent face anymore. And Council Grove has just the rig rubber feet that just sets in the middle of the road.
So people can just take it.
He said they haven't had any issues with that anyway.
So can you run over them when they bounce out?
Most of the time, unless.
Really run over.
I'm glad you addressed that, because that'd be my concern, like Third and Main. People are gonna be backing up, that's not that much distance. Crunch.
Well, they're not supposed to back up over the center line.
Well, there's not that much, when you take a longer vehicle, like a pickup, you're there before you know it.
Park on the side street, Jerry. I have an issue with the state saying, why would you do this when there's not a problem? Do we wait till a kid gets hit on the
We-
crossroad
we-
before it's a problem.
Yeah, we understand, I'm just telling you what I
Yeah,
got,
yeah,
Yeah.
that kinda bothered me.
I understand,
You don't
yeah.
wanna do what Hillsborough had to do. You know,
No. And what was it you said earlier, you said, our problem right
The current
now,
problem is people don't stop at crosswalks.
That's true.
yes, they don't.
and you shouldn't, they also, it bothers me when they go around me on the right, it's like, don't do that. You're not supposed to do
I
that.
almost got hit twice there by the 256 Cafe when people come around the corner and don't look to see when somebody's going across the side street. I mean, I had a van this far away from me.
So, I guess do we need, are we wanting just discussion? Is that where we're at this point?
Yeah, because you need to know what you wanna roll out before.
Sure. I mean, I'm either way on it, I mean, it doesn't,
Are you
I
talking about a
think-
stop sign?
no, it's
No.
a little,
Well, I mean, you said one of them had a stop.
Well,
yeah, it's not it's not an actual stop sign, it's not a regulation. it's
This
just-
is the one we showed you, Dave.
Yeah.
And then this is Council Groves, and it has stop up at the top instead of yield, ours has yield.
I just got this picture right before the meeting, it's,
Yeah, the
okay,
yield, I would prefer the yield.
that's their version of it. I mean, that's a ways back from the crosswalks.
These Council Grove thought stop was a little sterner and it worked better. That's what they were telling me.
As long as they're rubber, I'm for it.
Yeah, they don't make the permanent fix, which let it pull out, it was flat to the ground, and let you pull it out, but Margaret said they don't make that anymore.
Well, what's your recommendations of the location?
My recommendation, if we're only gonna get 3, would be at each end of downtown, warning people going into downtown that they're approaching crosswalks and to be aware. And then, if, at the Freeborn Street one, the only issue is the is the Safe Kids Crossing is there, it's marked, there's a signage there. I'm not aware that that's a huge area of, a huge problem due to you can see a long ways that there's kids in the crosswalks. Downtown, there's visibility is
Yeah.
a little bit of an issue, you get up on the crosswalk before you realize that you're at a crosswalk and there's somebody standing there. So, I mean, I think at a minimum, if this is something the council wishes to do, would be the downtown area, and then if it's a huge success and we find more issues with other areas of town, we can go ahead and,
So get 2 to start with and put them at the end.
and we can move them, I mean, they're not permanent, so we
Okay.
can
We can
try
move
them
them.
out and see where they go best.
Cause we talked about like the first day of school and like Art in the Park and,
Move
you
them to
know.
the park area, for Art in the Park, move them up by the school for after school and stuff like that.
What's your pleasure, council?
What? For the 2 to start with.
Do I understand you right, Clinton, that they will not be in the roadway itself?
They will be on the yellow line,
Center.
right in the center of
Yes.
the street.
Is that a motion?
I move that we purchase 2 to put out on Mount Street downtown.
Okay, we have a motion. You have a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
I can just say that in the cities, next to a main thoroughfare where there's a lot of lights, the side streets where there's a lot of traffic, even in a town where they hate signage, they've got these every other block. I mean, it's just like, wow, and they're so bright, they really do get your attention.
Okay.
I've never seen them.
Council
Go to
Grove
the
is the only
city.
place I've seen them.
I heard this, which.
Boulder, Colorado has one every 2 blocks on the side streets off of Pearl. Every 2 blocks. And they don't like signs in that town, but they've got them.
Any further
Okay.
discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carried, 4 to 1.
Thank you.
I've got a couple more traffic
Oh.
things that are on here that don't necessarily need motions or for approval, but, at, the intersection of Roosevelt and Main Street, between HRK and Tacos, Food Lot, there's been some individuals, and I've seen it myself, where people will park directly, on either side of the road right there, next to the intersection, and when you turn off of Main Street to go north, if somebody's sitting there, you can't see the vehicles on the, east side, So what the proposal would be to, where those yellow lines are at, would just be either paint the curbs yellow, we'll put up some no parking here at corner to here signs, just to alleviate that. Now, there are parking laws with regards to parking next to stop signs and distances and stuff like that, but the curb's not marked at all there, so it's difficult for people to follow those. I mean, the average person is probably not aware of those parking laws.
So you're talking only on the south side of Main Street,
North.
or north, not the south?
South side, there already is no parking on one side of the street.
I see that
The
red
southbound
pickup,
side.
I see that red pickup sitting there, and there is a triangle there, a vision triangle of 30 feet either way. Is that being observed by that red pickup? I've had several complaints on that,
That would be something we could look into.
because when he parks too close to the street, when you pull up to that stop sign, you can't see past him.
Are you talking about just painting the curbs or signage?
I think painting the curbs to start with would be, I mean, that's paint we have, that doesn't cost, Margot said the city has yellow paint. We paint those curbs and then not have to worry about signage, and if for some reason it's not enough, we can put up sign, but I think just painting the curbs
You'll
yellow.
probably have some no parking signs, because they ripped up all the ones on Freeborn Street. I don't know what to do
Right,
with them.
I just wouldn't want people to get confused that you can't park at all on that side of the street. Just from those two driveways that are pretty much crossing each other to the, Main Street. And
So you're recommending the establishment of a new no parking zone on Roosevelt?
correct.
Okay, which has to be done by ordinance. We would ask, based on your direction this evening, let us draft it for the next meeting, so we have the correct language.
Right.
I think that's a good idea, because I've had complaints about those cars parking right there by the street, right there on the corner.
I've spoken with Allison Teichman about this, that I was gonna propose this a month or so ago. And so I'll get with the HRK people and let them, know as well.
Okay,
That way that they're all aware of what is going on, what issues we're having.
okay.
And then, do you need to make a motion to go forth, or do we just need to go off recommendation?
Just bring it back to the council.
Yeah,
With an
let's
order.
bring it back.
Okay. And the last one is, I had some complaints on Cedar Street at Lawrence and Denver, after school, when school's in session, and before school, that they believe the speed limit is too fast in that, area. It's 30 miles an hour, like, as all the side streets are that aren't marked. So that individual was asking if we could do something about reducing the speed limit there, and my thought process on this, without impeding traffic all of the time, would be have a school zone there from school days from 7:30 to 8:30, and then 3:30 to 4:30, or times to be determined, but to slow it down to 20 through there. That follows, Lawrence Street follows the safe routes sidewalk, that was done a while ago. It is